All right, guys, today we've got a super impressive Genesis complete in box collection that came into the store. And I'm very excited to show this off because we usually don't get big batches of complete in box Genesis games like this. And there's a lot of good stuff in here. And a lot of games that are way more expensive than I realized, like Pocahontas for the Genesis, for example. You never know what's expensive and what isn't in the world of old video games, I guess. Here we've got the classic Sonic 2 from everyone's favorite, Sega. And yeah, this is one I definitely grew up playing. I was dedicated Tails. I was the little brother. I was the man in charge of defeating the bosses and flying Sonic up the higher elevations. It's a really good game, really fun game. It holds up today, especially. And co-op, man, good stuff. But here's another classic, the Hyperstone Heist. Just look at this cover art, man. The turtles look badass in this. They're friggin' jacked, too. They got just crazy amounts of muscles and just checking out a miniaturized version of the city there. This is another blast of a game to play. I think it's better than Turtles in Time myself. I think it really just gets down to beating the hell out of enemies. Look at this on the back here. The ninjutsu gnarliness never stops. Oh my god. The text on the back of the box of these games, Konami especially, had some ridiculous blurbs that they put on the back of their games. And here's another great game, Ghouls and Ghosts. I mean, check out this art, guys. Badass suit of gold armor, channeling lightning with a big lance. They don't make box art like they used to, I gotta say. They kind of got lazy these days. And yeah, classic game, very difficult, very difficult game. I'm not sure how it holds up to the Super Nintendo version. And honestly, I'm not even too familiar with the differences between Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts and whatever the hell, Dungeons and Dragons. Here's another really cool one, Vector Man. This game had a very unique art style to it. Kind of like a platformer, action platformer sort of game. And you're like this weird green monstrosity. It did something very different with the Genesis. I don't even know how to describe its art style, other than it feels kind of digital, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's not like traditional 2D sprites. Here's another great game, Comic Zone. And as is the case with these old games, amazing cover art. I like how you can see the guy coming out of the comic book, which is what this game's about. It's about a dude popping out of a comic book, or no, it's about an artist going into his own comic book, actually, and whooping ass. It's very interesting. You jump around from panel to panel, and it's a really good action brawler. And here's another classic, Battletech. Legendary IP. Very old school IP. Giant mechs blowing shit up. What more do you even need in a video game? What more do you need in life, to be honest? I hope I live long enough to see mechanized robots. Like Gundams and Metal Gear. Battletech becoming real. They're no timeless classic here, man. The Castle World of Illusion. I don't know if it's Castle or World. Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Beautiful game. Disney made a lot of great games back then, man. It was a really fun co-op platformer. Full of wonderful art and just really great. Still to this day, amazing. You got Tiny Toons Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasure. And like a lot of Genesis games, it's a kind of a platformer, a little bit of action here and there. This one's more focused on platforming than, blowing up enemies and stuff like that. I like Tiny Toon Adventures. I watched quite a lot of that when I was growing up. I like the movie too. And here's another amazing game, Sonic and Knuckles. And the cool thing about this game, other than its pretty badass cover here, I like the pure black with the just the symbols of Knuckles and Sonic. Well, this is the game that you could connect to other Genesis games. You could slot in Sonic 3, you could slot in Sonic 2, and you unlock Knuckles to play in those games. This was like unheard of back in the day. Like, we didn't even... The idea that we were going to physically combine our games didn't even make sense to us as kids, but we went ahead and did it anyway. And it kind of blew our minds. I don't know if we've ever done anything like this ever again in the game industry, to be honest. Having two cartridges that like link up to one another. I can't think of anything even remotely close to that. Though I'm sure there's been examples. What is this? Light Crusader. I don't know too much about this game, but I like the cover art there. Guy's just chopping a zombie in two. Seems to be a RPG kind of game. Really like this isometric perspective they got going on here. I've heard good things, and it seems like a pretty ambitious game for the Genesis. Just a straight up massive RPG. And here we've got Maximum Carnage for the Genesis. I mean, these are all Genesis games. This one here, really good beat 'em up, man. You can straight up play as Carnage or Venom. Or maybe it's Spider-Man and Venom. Either way, it's Venom, which is amazing. I mean, you barely even see Spider-Man, dude. They're like, hey, you can play as Venom in this game. And, yeah, pretty awesome. I mean, how many other games let you be Venom? And yeah, you got some more kids games, Sylvester and Tweety, stuff like that. Miss Pac-Man, another classic arcade game. I mean, just look at the ghosts. The ghosts are checking out Miss Pac-Man here. I think the ghosts are infatuated with the old misses there. But yeah, this game... Not my thing, personally. I'm not too into the old school arcade games, but I can't blame people who are, man. I wish I lived to appreciate going to the arcade and putting in the quarters to Miss Pac-Man. What is this? I don't even know what this is. Cheeky Boys. I have no idea what this is. No one in peaceful Illyrra was ready when the monsters attacked. Uh-oh. Doesn't sound good. It looks like a pretty... Kind of reminds me of Monster Boy in Wonderland or whatever it is. Now check this one out. Green Dog the Beached Surfer Dude. Someone thought this was going to catch on. There's Sonic, there's Mario, but what about Green Dog? The Beached Surfer. Here's Rocket Knight Adventures. Legendary game for the Genesis. Really cool to see the whole box there. Honestly, Konami did a lot of good Genesis games, man. They were just cranking out these games here. This is a very hectic action platformer where the main gimmick is you got like this jetpack. You can just go flying around all over the stage. Really awesome game. And if you've never played it, you really got to give it a shot. I never got too far, but I did mess around with it for a little bit. Really good stuff. And yeah, we got some, I would say more generic kind of games. There were a lot of games where you kind of piloted a fighter jet, stuff like that. I love the art on this one. Helicopters have faces and are fighting each other and stuff. Seems like a shoot 'em up of sorts. I really got to go back and explore more of the Genesis library. I mean, come on. What the hell is Bubba and Sticks? I don't know what this is. It looks like you play as a tree, I guess. Is that what's going on? You play as a tree in this game? Or a redneck, I guess? I don't know. Bubba and Sticks features some of the most mind-bending puzzles and action gameplay ever seen. I'm not sure about that box. Here's a really impressive game, Flashback. This game like blew people's minds when it came out. Very iconic 2D art and had the full motion videos, stuff like that. There's a lot of, it was a great time, man. Genesis, Super Nintendo, take me back, man. Take me back to Crystal's Pony and to Pocahontas here. I didn't realize this game was so expensive when I recorded this. I was like, oh, Pocahontas for the Genesis. And I was like, whoa, $90. This must be one people are really looking for here. And I gotta say, Pocahontas is not really a memorable Disney movie for me, though I did like the concept. That was cool. I preferred Mulan myself, but you got Ren and Stimpy. Stimpy's invention. Oh boy. What is on this? Is Powdered Toast Man in this one? That's all I need to know. But yeah, really, really cool collection of games. A lot of Disney games here I showed off in a separate short video. If you're into the shorts here on the channel, you go check that one out. Where I took a look at the Lion King and Jungle Book here. And I left out Pocahontas, though. I didn't realize it was such a heavy hitter. And, you know, you had the sports games like everyone has. And, of course, we got 2 copies of Sonic 3D Blast. 2 of them came in. But, yeah, that's the video, guys. I hope you had a lot of fun. And if you want to catch more of the old school games that float into our store, well, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Post a lot of videos just talking about these old games and showing them off, because you never know what's going to come into the store. That's the exciting thing about working for a retro video game store. Take it easy, guys.